Hello my crafty friends, it's Sharon Lusky here from My Crafty Greetings, and we are doing a Scrappy Tails video today. These are from my lawn. I picked them. Aren't they so pretty and springy? We are doing an all the shop hop today. It's for videos and blogs, and we are using old and new supplies from Scrappy Tails. And I was having a hard time deciding, man, I love these trees and the fairies plus that bunny rabbit, but I decided today that I really needed to use these flying butterflies. They are so big and so gorgeous. Look at the size of those. That's a 5x7 base. And you can stamp on these and do all kinds of wonderful and amazing things, and 2 butterflies would fill your card easy. So some of you may recognize that MICA. It was a bonus in some of the Cut Perfect Sheet packages. And we're gonna use some hairspray today, some Stronghold hairspray, and some of this MICA. It is large flake mica, not Tim Holtz size large flake mica. That's big mica, but this is definitely larger flake than anything that we get that's kind of pearly that you can mix with any of your mediums. I have been searching for this forever, and it is so delicious and sparkly. It is unbelievable, and these butterflies needed a coat of this because it is crazy glittery and so beautiful. And I just wanted to make sure that these got all the glory that they deserved. The detail on these are through the roof, sumptuous, excellent. Sabrina's grandma actually helped her design these, and they were one of the earlier releases that she had, and they're so beautiful. The lovely thing too is that you have the solid base, and so I cut this out of vellum, and I'm painting that little mixture, and I'm gonna do 3 layers of vellum. I'm just putting a little hand sanitizer bottle there to keep it from curling up. I also wanted to show you I've got some flowers that I ink blended, but you can also take this concoction and use it with watercolors, so you can have shimmery watercolors. And those are flowers from the new release too. Aren't those nice? I'm gonna use them in a later project. So we're going to sculpt these butterflies up. Just give their wings a bit of a curl and then bend them at the body. And then you're going to glue them together. I used ATG. I've got Tape Jungle ATG. Didn't want to stick on this, so I used a little bit of Tombow Mono Multi a little bit later. But today, because it's a hop, there's prizes. There's going to be all the links for the hop down below in my drop down box. Please go and visit my teammates. They are so talented and so good at what they do, and I'm so excited to see all the wonderful things that everybody's going to come up with. So give these little fiddle here, just kind of spread them out, make them look nice. Now I pulled out this big multicolored piece of paper. If you have ink blended paper, this would work. And then I pulled out my dies from the new release where all the flower clusters are that I wanted to use. And just pulled the flowers out of each one of these. And then I taped them into a large piece so that I could just keep putting the paper over top and sending it through. So you can see they're taped together in a cluster, and then I put my paper over top, and there's my Cut Perfect sheet, which looks horrible when I use it, and then the next day it looks all healed. See, the nice thing about that is you can see through if it's not lined up and correct it before you waste your paper. I hate wasting paper, so not like I've got a shortage of it, but when I cut it and it's off, oh, does that upset me. So you can see I already have a whole pile of flowers up there. I was not sure how many flowers I was going to need for this project, but I've been wanting to do this project for some time now, and it just seemed like those butterflies and this release were just kismet. They were asking to have this done. So I'm also going to ink blend the little centers there. So you saw that shimmery flower that I did. Well, it's one of these guys, and I'd already ink blended it and put the shimmer on it. We're not going to be adding the shimmer to these today because this is going to be a super shiny, glimmery, bright card today, but you can see how much it dresses those up, and I'm just using regular old paint brushes or makeup brushes. You don't need the fancy stuff. You can use whatever you've got. If you want the fancy stuff, get it. Now, this is not fancy stuff. This is cheap stamps, and this is what happens with cheap stamps. So I spent a lot of time trying to peel that sucker off of that backing. So I have a little memento here, and I just wanted to stamp some detail in the background of my card base here, and wanted to do some purple because we're going to be doing the pinks, the blues, the purples, the pearly whites. You'll see when we get to the end of the card. That that butterfly just holds its own, seriously. When I see that on that base, it looks like it could be its own card right then and there. So what we're going to do though is we're going to overlay some clouds on this. And had I gotten my dies out from Sabrina, I could have cut myself a nice stencil with some proper clouds, but these were quick and easy and at my fingertips. I'm redoing my craft room right now, so it was really hard to find everything that I needed, but this worked out good. And you can see I'm blending a little bit of spun sugar and a little bit of broken china together just to make it purples and pinks and blues. So I also am taking, I slid underneath a little foam sheet and I'm just cupping those flowers. So we're going to add a little bit of tape to the back of this butterfly, a little bit of foam tape, and we're going to stick that down just so that it has lots and lots of dimension. And then I sped this up, and basically you just want to have an explosion of flowers coming out, that butterfly's derriere. If butterflies tooted, would it smell like flowers? I don't know. But anyways, I just thought how beautiful to have a butterfly soaring through the air and all these little tiny flowers coming out from behind it. And this was kind of inspired by one of Mary Gunn's craft roulette challenges, not the most recent one this past Friday, the Friday before that. And it was stamped background, clouds, something falling, and spring colors. So now I'm just adding in here, I added in some homemade drops, sparkle drops or whatever you want to call it, that I used the mica with. We'll get into that in another video. And then I have from Pink Fresh here, you can't see it, but I have from Pink Fresh here one of those little packets of the Aurora kind of rhinestones, and I'm using some glossy accents to glue those down. Glossy accents are the best way to glue these babies into place. Now, once I got this done, I really realized that it needed to be anchored onto something sparkly and pretty, and I got out some of this Cricut vinyl here, and I attached it to a card base, and I'm just cutting off my wet project here, a little rim, so that we can do a reveal of that beautiful shimmery vinyl. And I didn't want to let the guard go down on top of the flowers and all of that kind of nouveau drop work that I did. So I stuck a tool in there to keep the guard from hitting, put my pinky finger on one of the rhinestones, and that held everything in place so I could cut a 1/4 inch reveal off the edge of my project. So once I get that in place here and get it all lined up, I can go ahead and stick my butterfly back on. And you'll see in the photos how absolutely amazing this Cricut vinyl sheet looks as a background for this card. So now I've got a white happy birthday. I really wanted the sentiment not to dominate the card, so I'm just adding some glossy accents to the back of it, and I'm just floating that over top of those flowers and rhinestones. So it's just grabbing where it can. Can you see all that color? Isn't that amazing? So I'm not ending the video here. If you like what you see though, I would love if you would subscribe, comment, give me a thumbs up, but I'm just going to show you quickly here. You may have thought at the beginning, gee, that looks like shimmer pen, Sharon. And I thought, you know what, I should probably compare this hairspray and mica concoction with that shimmer pen so that you can see exactly what's going on here. I thought you might enjoy that because of course I know you know me for doing crazy things. And yes, hairspray works perfectly fine on your projects, and you know what? It does not come off if you ever get frustrated that some of your other stuff rubs off. This will not rub off. Naturally, if you get it wet, it's probably going to come off a little bit, but who's going to get their cards wet? Like, I mean, unless somebody's crying that your card's so beautiful. But I'm just doing a little bit of a flick here to show you how tasty and shimmery this is. So I'm going to remind you too, just as we're watching all this goodness, when you hop along today, don't forget to comment. Comments are going to get you wins, and the more comments you leave, the more chances you have to win, and all of the details will be in my drop down box. So you can see the shimmer pen and then my mica there. You can see that. I think my mica is like more shimmery. But I'm going to be adding to that to the shop at the beginning of May. but I was trying to show that there so that you could see the two. Anyways, ideas, right, ladies? Thanks so much for joining us today, and thank you as well for everyone who's used my links. If there's any product that you see here today that you would like to purchase from Scrappy Tails, I sure would love it if you would. Have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye.